The earliest beams of sunlight glint off of a creek that bubbles and winds its way into a dense grove of brilliant green. It is summer in the Western Wealds, and the longest day of the year is dawning. The creatures of the forest know this and move to make the most of the morning sun before the loggers arrive. We see a gecko skitter from the shade onto an outstretched branch, yawn, and vanish into the rutted bark. A kingfisher, silhouetted against the golden water, preens itself for its morning hunt. This place is teeming with life. But the town that lies just a few dozen yards upstream is not yet. It is a woodcutting concern, rough and tumbled, and enclosed on all sides by two-story timbers. The creek runs beneath the gate and from up through the town, tumbling over terraces and through buildings. One by one, doors begin to unlatch. The Sty-Master throws open the pen gates and lets his drove of yak-sized boar rush to the creek for their morning drink. Like all the denizens of this industrious little town, they're bracing for the long workday ahead. The quartermaster sips coffee and quietly begins her morning inventory. The miller packs a pipe and moves to open up his mill. In a kitchen garden on a high ledge, a ceramic statue stands vigil over these earliest stirrings. Soon he will open the gate, as he does every day without fail. At the foot of the hill, the gate stands as the town's sole entrance. Above it, chopped into the wood by the heel of an axe, are two words in Old Imperial: Fortier Juncti. Stronger rallied. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Unbalanced Encounters, the show that dares to ask, what if Hayao Miyazaki was a theater kid? I'm your host, Patrick Perini. I would like to welcome you all to our first season, which we are calling Rally. And not only would I like to welcome you, I would like to welcome our players. I'm going to go around the table. We're going to save characters for in the game, but we're going to go ahead and start off. Everybody say hi. Starting from the top, Cinderblock Sally.
Hello. Oh my goodness, what an intro that little thing you just did was there, dear Dungeon Master.
Woo, it's gonna be a fun time, my friends. Next up, we got Sam Oliver. Sam, say hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Sam, we're so excited. We're so excited. All right, next up, we have the chattest nerd you know, Craig Pates.
Oh gosh. Oh, okay. All right. All I know right now is I have written down gecko is suspicious, but yes, thank you for having me.
Listen, Craig's gonna be our note taker this season, and I'm here for
That's
it.
a bad idea. That's a horrible.
I'm here for it. You got the gecko in one, my friend. And last but not least, the illustrious Emily Graymore. Emily?
Hello. Hi. Pleasure to be here. I'm very, very excited.
We could not be more excited to be playing this game. And what is this game, you might be asking? Because you don't know. You're just listening to a podcast for the first time, which, by the way, thank you. We know that there's like a billion of these, and this is the best, but you don't know that yet, so we have to prove ourselves. Let's talk about setting for a minute. Our game begins in the Western Wealds, a massive forest and one of the last true wild places on an island nation, Ostilla, isolated, imperial, and in the middle of a rebellion that threatens civil war. Our story centers on Rally, a small logging community whose sole export is elderwood resin, an ordinarily rare tree sap that, while not much use in its raw state, is refined into a, shall we say, supplement that allows powerful sorcerers to perform acts of magic. So, that's where we're going to be playing, and I would like to say, I have had 10 hours of sleep in the last 48. I'm extremely jet lagged.
Oh my
So,
God.
with that, if you are all ready to jump in, we can jump straight in.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Bravo. Let's do this.
Wonderful. So, it is against this backdrop of rally in these early morning opening kind of montage that takes place every day without fail, that we see a tall and extremely competent looking woman. She is making her way to the mess hall for the kind of opening of her day. She's looking to get a little breakfast. Emily, would you please describe your character for us?
Goodness me. So my character is Safra Harisa. Harisa to most people. She is, when I say tall, she's about 5'10", so definitely taller than me. And she is basically a ranger. She likes days to be very, very calm. She doesn't like anything to happen. She likes things to be as simple and easy as possible. She moved around a lot as a youngster, hasn't really known any peace and would like some peace now. Thank you very much. So yeah, a good day is a day where nothing happens. Physical, I suppose, just like dark hair, sort of like a bit scruffy, braided in places. And just kind of very loose fitting sort of like wraps and clothes like that. So yeah, pretty casual.
Fantastic. Great. So as Harisa makes her way to the mess hall, I am actually going to ask for the first roll of our game.
Oof.
It's going to be a little bit unorthodox. I am going to ask you for a luck roll with disadvantage, if you please.
Excuse me.
So you're going to roll 2d20 and take the lower of the two rolls as is.
Just don't freak out.
Okay, just 2d20s flat.
2d20s,
Okay.
take the lower of the two.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Wonderful. 14
is the lower of the two.
Ooh, all right. On a 14, we see this morning has gone pretty well. You woke up. Your sort of the people that you interact with in the morning have kind of stayed out of your way. It's been good so far. Your subordinates have been kind of not underfoot. Your morning kind of rounds were easy. Nothing was wrong. Guard was where he was supposed to be. June was nowhere to be seen. It was a good morning until you got to the mess hall and nearly got shoved to the ground by one of the boar. Why is this boar out? You don't know, but presumably it's someone else's problem.
Hell yeah.
How do you react to nearly getting shoved to the ground? Actually, you know what? Go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh lord. Okay. It's happening. Dexterity.
These are massive boar, right? These guys are like...
They're yak sized, so they're big. They're kind of like shoulder height at the head. What was the result there?
And that one. I mean, +5, so 6.
All right, Harisa, you are knocked to the ground for 2 damage. And as you sort of lay there, you see actually 2 more of the boar kind of round the mess hall behind it and scatter off into the rest of Rally. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Harisa,
yes.
What do you do as you're sort of laying there and you see these boar kind of peel off into the rest of Rally?
Did they seem angry, agitated, or just, like, excited?
These boar are generally... So you know that these boar are actually generally pretty calm in demeanor. They listen reasonably well. They're very well trained. The boar specifically are kind of the beasts of burden of Rally and sort of this part of the world. They don't need a lot of grassland. They kind of forage out in the wilderness. They drink from the creek. They're very easy to sort of upkeep as opposed to more pastoral kind of animals. These boar in particular have a very special skill. They have been trained to help sniff out elderwood groves as you move through your rotations. And so they're very mild-mannered. The Sty Master keeps them very happy. This level of agitation is abnormal, but it's also, they didn't seem angry. They weren't like trying to hurt you. They just seem excited, I think is the word you use, and I think that's a good one.
Harisa will get herself up, brush herself off. Can she see where the boars are headed if she kind of like looks out towards them?
Rally's not that big. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay, perception. A 7, because I rolled a 2. And we're doing all the low rolls now.
You track one back toward the sty, and you lose track of the other two.
Breakfast. just gonna walk into the bar, mess hall.
So you go to the mess hall. You rolled a 14 on that luck check. The mess hall is locked.
Okay. No breakfast for me today. So she's going to sigh and just walk and sort of follow where the kind of pigs were headed, just to make sure.
So
don't freak out.
As you're headed back toward the sty, you consider. Actually, as you're heading back toward the sty, you pass the Sty Master's cottage, and the door is open and the stove is lit. And you would know that the Sty Master runs an unofficial tavern in his spare time, and he seems to be up and open for business.
I know his name. Do I? What's his name?
Oh, absolutely. You've known Scrumpy for probably about 2 years now.
Scrumpy. Lovely. I'm gonna kind of pop the door open then if it's already ajar. Head in. Scrumpy! Scrumpy?
Oi! Is that you there, Harisa?
Yes, Scrumpy.
You see a room that, kind of like all of the cottages in Raleigh are relatively modest. This one has been, like, all the furniture has been sort of shoved away to make room for, like, a couple of really shitty, like, it just like scrap wood tables that he has kind of put together. And he's got like a bar that's like on a shelf that's dangling from like some old suspenders, it kind of looks like. They're covered with all manner of not extraordinarily clean looking mugs and bottles. You see that he is kind of at the back wall at his little, sort of cast iron stove, making some eggs.
Wow.
Scrumpy, you owe me a free breakfast.
Oh, you a free what now?
You heard. You see the hoof prints on my blouse? You owe me a free breakfast.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You know what? And he sort of wings around with these eggs that are like, they're burnt on the underside and like kind of that snotty white consistency still on the top, like not fully set. And he plates them up for you, just as is. And it says, well, I suppose that they did get out this morning, then, didn't they?
As tempting as that is, Scrumpy, I think we should at least see if the rest of your pigs stay around.
Oh, the rest of them I got put back in the bin, no problem. Granted, that's only a few. It's only the one, because we only have about a half dozen or so. It's only about a one, and then we got Caden Thomas out back. And you see, sort of from his back window, there's one of the boar that is just like fully legs up, like a supine cat position. That you would know as Scrumpy's sort of not his pet per se. It's his pet.
It's his favorite.
Yeah.
And what's his name? His favorite, the pet one.
Yes, this is also something that Harisa would know. That boar's name is Caden Thomas O'Rourke.
Caden, I'm writing this down. Caden Thomas O'Rourke.
Scrumpy gets real upset if you do not refer to him as at least Caden Thomas, but preferably the whole thing.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad that Caden Thomas is safe.
Scrumpy plunks this drink down on the bar in front of Harisa.
Has she ever seen anything like that before? I'm assuming she just knows what that is.
Yeah, so this is the drink that Scrumpy brews. This is kind of good alcohol is kind of tough to come by out here. You get it from traders when you can. It's worth it, sort of every time. But when you don't have access to that, Scrumpy is the biggest advocate of something that he calls scrapsparilla, which is made from, well, you guys make a lot of elderwood sawdust.
Oh, lovely. I think normally Harissa would partake, but it's a bit early in the morning.
Yeah, it is truly like it is crack of dawn. It's like 6:15 in the morning.
It's the kind of thing she would take to forget the day, Safe. Save this for me, plus another 2 for the end of the day, because I know I will need it. And
another 2 eggs or another 2 scrapsparilla?
The scrapsparilla. Yes, thank you.
So just to be clear, you're gonna take care of the boar problem, right? That's not something old Scrump's got to worry about, eh?
Yes, Scrump. Yes, yes.
Bless you, Harisa. You're a saint among men, women, whomever.
She's closed the door. She's out already. She's just like done.
Okay. So how do you want to go about doing this? Because I've got an idea of how I want to handle it mechanically, but how do you want to handle pig wrangling as being kind of the first thing you've got to do this morning?
I feel like firstly she'd probably listen for like the squeals and just ruckus coming from somewhere.
Okay.
And if she can't hear anything, probably just I'm sure there'll be footsteps in the mud somewhere that she could follow.
Yeah, I think just across the board we can treat this as, I mean, this is, let's be honest, you're a ranger. This is not your first pig wrestle. Go ahead and roll me a survival check, and I believe you have advantage on those with favored enemy beast. So go ahead and roll me a survival check, and we'll just go ahead and treat this as the outcome sort of this of these 3 pigs.
21.
All right.
Yeah.
On a 21,
pig wrangling. Yeah.
on a 21, you spend the next. You are now fully late for the rest of the day. You spend the next hour wrangling these 3 yak-sized boar that have decided today is the day they're going to act the fool. And you catch them in three distinct places. The first one you see whipping around the mill, and you manage to just like get it and kind of get a rope around it, steer it back towards Scrumpy, who's kind of waiting there by the pen, ready to receive them. You travel a little further into town, and you actually clock a little bit of ruckus from the sort of quartermaster's general store. But you do manage to, again, you see, sort of one of those another boar kind of leap off of a little edge, and it tries to kind of get around you, and you just sort of grab it by the tusks and throw yourself onto it and kind of ride it toward the pen a little bit. You get that second one in, and you do manage to get the third one as well. The third one has managed to get up to the kitchen garden, where we saw a guard earlier, and has uprooted several vegetables, and is currently laying in the mud, very content with itself. And you managed to get a hold of this one as well. And, this one's a little calmer. You just kind of lead it back down into the pen. But
Bad, Pepper, bad. Out.
That is your morning. More or less shot to hell. You are now officially about 45 minutes late for your morning meeting with Isaac.
I am upset.
What do you do?
She's just gonna she's gonna head up towards Isaac. She's not going to rush. She will just kind of like go at normal pace, head to Isaac. And when she kind of like sees him, she'll just kind of have that haggard look on her face and just point to the like footprints on her.
We're gonna
like,
cut
chest.
to that in a minute because we are going to cut away, and actually we are going to jump to another person in this town. We are going to jump to the really the sort of de facto leader of this town. He is sort of a again, kind of tall, fairly well built man. He's been working these trees for quite some time. Maybe has a little bit of the kind of the weight of the world on his shoulders this morning, as he kind of rouses himself and gets himself to his office for his kind of morning check-ins with everyone. Craig, would you please describe your character for us?
Yes. Isaac Axe Drummer is a half orc, around his mid 50s at this time. He's, as you said, well built, very muscular from just chopping wood for these past 2 decades. He's got a few scars along his forearms and one across his jaw. And for the most part, he's trimming his like beard is like kind of he's keeps it trim and neat for the most part, but it's all white at this. And he's rocking we're gonna say a red flannel. And some,
Ooh,
Oh
classic.
my god, amazing.
Plastic.
and just
Amazing.
some. Do we have jeans in this world? I want to rock some. I want Isaac to rock.
Fuck it. They had jeans in it. We've got Isaac blue jeans. There we go. Hell yes.
Full half orc
yes.
Paul Bunyan.
Love
no,
this.
but he's just sitting in his office at his desk, and
Before you actually take that seat, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a flat luck check. No disadvantage, please.
flat. Let's go.
Oh, lucky
It's
for
my
some.
lucky day.
Some are more lucky than others, it seems.
I will take all the DM advantage. I will flirt with you if I need to get
Hey,
That's a
I
3.
didn't do it. I didn't
That's
do
a
it.
3.
Oh no.
That's a 3.
Oh.
Buddy.
Oh, my friend. Oh no.
That's a 3.
Ooh, oh boy. Okay. Oh no. Isaac, you are probably the only person in town with like an office, right? Like you have correspondence with the outside world. You have a space where you can meet transients, leaders within the community, take time to consider and do accounts and, all of the logistical things that you frankly never thought you'd have to fucking do. And sort of with that comes, kind of the aesthetic trappings of you've got a physical desk. It's like a good oaken desk. It's got a decent chair. You've kind of lots of light. It's good positive space. You're ready for the morning, kind of taking those deep breaths. You get in, you sit down, leg goes out from under the chair, head off of the desk, laying on the ground. You take 2 points of damage as you bounce your head off of the desk and send, some papers skittering across the ground. That is the first thing to have happened this morning.
Damn it, Dale. All right, we got another day. And I'll sit up.
Yep. You kind of start collecting your papers, get everything kind of together. It's still a little early for kind of your first meeting of the day is usually Harisa, so you've still got a little bit of time. How are you spending that time? Are you just kind of sitting contemplating? Are you going through some of the inbox? Like, what does that look like for you?
I mean, Isaac, unlike me, has a list of things to do for the day. And funny enough, the first thing is to check on the guard and to see how the rotations were and if there was any issues in the morning. So
Fantastic. Also, hello and welcome to another episode of Office Simulator.
you know.
And Craig was like, what if I played the leader of this town and like got really into the nitty gritty of running it? And I was like, that sounds like a really fun listening experience for our listeners at home who have to listen to this with their human ears and then go to their fucking day jobs.
Listen, check this out. He was going to do a morning jog, you know, and like mix in the guard rotation with that.
That would have been good.
Can the guards have like a water cooler so we can have like a chat around it occasionally? I'd like that.
Fuck me, that's funny. Okay, yes, this is canon. This is canon. Like someone brings like a jug from the. Actually, I think this is like a quartermaster job where like someone with the quartermaster's office like brings a fucking clay jug of water and like upturns it so that you guys can like get water out of it every morning. I think that's a thing. I think that's canon.
Keg, like,
hell yes. Isaac, as you sort of get back up to your desk, you grab the kind of list of notes, the manifest for this upcoming guard kind of meeting, what you need to talk about here, and actually on that piece of paper is another piece of paper. It's a big like scrap of paper that you've hand sketched in a note for, which was do mess hall rotation. And it just got to the bottom of the pile and you just fully forgot to assign a mess hall officer for this week. So that's probably something that someone's going to be unhappy about here momentarily. And again, you've got a little bit of time before Harisa is supposed to get here, but you do find the, kind of list of notes for the guard meeting. It's a short list, actually. This ends up being kind of Harisa's very good at her job, and so these meetings often end up being kind of an intake for you, like what has gone wrong that you have to deal with, rather than putting things onto Harisa, assuming that June hasn't gotten into any more shenanigans. And it doesn't seem, the touch the broken wood on the floor. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen yet today. So you you kind of hold there for a minute, again, I think you're just kind of collecting yourself, and you hear the door to your office just fully kick open, and you hear walking in, Isaac, where is that no good for nothing son of a something or other? And your Miller, Maurice Broadbeam, walks in. Maurice is a dwarf. He is the epitome of a crotchety old man. He is quite frankly, the best miller, and as far as you can tell, the only Elderwood refiner, like north of the capital of Astilla. And just the fucking worst. Just you hate. He's so good. He's such a pain in the ass. He's so good at his job.
But he's so good at his job.
He runs the entire milling and refining operation. Like, you see him once every 3 months, and you would not want it any other way.
You are triggering me so bad right now.
We've all had a Maurice.
All been here.
Broadbeam in our lives.
Shout outs to the Maurices out there. We hate all of you. We hate all of you.
Maurice is walking in, and he's sort of waving his pipe around, and he says, "What are you gonna do about it?"
Now, Maurice, we talked about this. If you plan on telling me that you're upset about something, I need you to elaborate on said upsettings.
The millstone I've been in here 3 times about over the last year. It's finally done. The teeth are gone kaput. It's this close to cracking. If it runs another 30 seconds, it's gonna break in half. We don't have a millstone, boy. You run a mill. We don't have a millstone.
Maurice, I understand. See, I told you about that smoking, all right?
You leave this to me. This is nature's good leaves. This is good stuff.
They're going to end up putting you in nature's good ground. You keep smoking it.
I'm going to put both of us in nature's good ground. They're going to put both of us in. You and I, we're going to. I bet you all the money in your pockets, if you had any money in your pockets, that you and I would find the ground at the same damn time. You leave my smoking out of it.
Would only be so lucky to be in the ground before you. But okay, a millstone. We need to figure out this millstone situation. All right. What do we need to figure this out? Come on, think, Maurice, think.
Listen, I mill the wood, I refine the wood. That's twice your job. You do yours, I'll do mine.
All right. See, I just established I'm trying to do my job, but if I don't know where this stone of milling is to be acquired, then how can I help you with your job, Maurice? See, it's a give and get thing that we're trying to deal with.
You kind of see that he like is very frustrated that you aren't gonna just like figure this out, because he doesn't know where to find a fucking millstone, right? Like
we've all
Dale, your
had
predecessor,
Maurice
sourced one from. Well, actually, go ahead and roll me a history check with advantage if you don't mind.
Yeah. History. Let's go. Isaac knows his history.
Because you have that thought. You have Dale sourced one from, and then like that high pitched signal tone.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this at all. This is very good.
It's not what you say after a nat 20.
On a nat 20, you know exactly where Dale got this millstone. Dale got this millstone from Minehead. And Minehead is a mining community probably 100 miles north of here, all the way on the coast at the top of the western mountains. And again, these are people that you very, very infrequently interact with, but every damn time they try to muscle in on your territory somehow. You have no idea what Dale gave away to get this millstone. That cost never came due for you. It was either paid off or orchestrated long before your time in sort of charge here. And on a nat 20, you honestly think that Katerin might have been involved in that negotiation somehow, because a millstone, I mean, this thing is massive, right? Like millstones are, this is probably about 10, maybe a dozen feet in diameter. Big, relatively intricately carved piece of stone that sits into another one and grinds the wood out into a pulp. Like, it's the backbone of your organization. It's a big piece of intricately kind of intricately carved and quarried stone. Them Minehead boys are going to be the ones who know, sort of what to do here. And on a nat 20, I'll give you this. You take a look down and see, you spot your calendar, you spot that it is in fact the day of the summer solstice, which is always the shipping kind of varies a little bit with, kind of you and the Minehead boys and so forth. And, kind of getting things out of this part of the world is not the easiest thing in the world. They will always be moving product on the solstice because it is the longest day of the year. They get the most daylight that they can push through. They're going to be passing by your neck of the woods, give or take, within a few miles, probably around lunchtime.
All right. You know what, Maurice? I figured it out. This big brain of mine, us teaming up and getting things done. I can get us a millstone. It's gonna take some negotiations, but I got this for you.
Go ahead and roll me the roll. This is going to come down to what Isaac actually believes here. Roll me either persuasion or deception. Your call.
I mean, he's not lying. So
okay, then roll me persuasion.
We'll go persuasion. Oh, that is a 7.
7 all in. All right. So Maurice gets a +2 to this roll. He's going to roll. We're going to roll a little insight here. He gets a +2 to this roll. If he rolls a 5 or higher, he is gonna call you bluff. That's a 10. So that's a natural 12. He kind of eyes you over and says, "You know how important this is, right?"
Yeah, I know the millstone's important to what we do.
No. Axe drummer, I need you to look me in the damn eye right now. You know how important this is, right?
Do I understand that our entire community could completely implode on itself without this millstone? That makes a bit of sense. Absolutely. Do I have time to just stress about that and that alone right now? Maurice, I love you. I love you because you know how to do your job. But at the same time, there's more on my plate than just figuring out this millstone. See, now look at you. Now look at you. All the coughing and wheezing.
Listen, you leave me out of this. You would go on with whatever the hell muck you was saying.
I gotta worry about you dying. I gotta worry about the millstone. It just keeps piling on over and over and over again. And I just
listen.
We can't stress all the time.
I swear to the gods, if I hear one more the burden of command speech out of you, you listen to me, boy. If you don't make, I know as well as you do. Today's the solstice. Mine-headed boys will be coming down the path. You send somebody out to get them. They'll be here by lunchtime. They'll do that for you. Well, they'll do that if you give them something. If you don't make a deal with them by the end of the day, me and mine are shipping out. It's the way it's got to be.
You gonna ship out on me, Maurice? Everything we've been, all the times I let you smoke in the mess hall, everybody wheezing and coughing from your nasty tobacco, and you gonna leave me?
It is at that moment that Harisa enters the room.
Isaac.
Harisa. Oh. Could you wait a moment, dry yourself off over there in the corner? Don't touch anything.
Dry myself off in the corner? Give me a towel. I just wrestled pigs for you all day. And you tell me to dry myself off in the corner? Isaac, please.
Maurice, did I order pigs to be wrestled?
Oh, yeah, the damn boars got out. Oh, and June got fired again.
Oh.
Just, Isaac is like, he went from trying to be calm and collected with Maurice, and he just, all of that facade has disappeared at the mention of Juniper losing her job. What job she have this time?
She was with Jazir. She was with Quartermaster.
The general store?
Yeah.
How do you get fired from the general store? Everybody needs to go there.
Do I look like her keeper? This
Maurice, you know everything damn else, Maurice. I just assume you knew that.
I don't know
about the pigs.
That was just the stuff I passed on the way to this office.
You know what your problem is, Maurice? You smoke too much and your ears too big. Get out my office. I'll figure out this millstone thing later. And you get out my office. There's too much going on.
He obliges and leaves. And Isaac, as you turn around to, kind of Harissa's still just like getting some of the mud off of her clothes. I'm going to say you swing past your desk. I'm going to have you make me a perception check if you don't mind.
Sure. I would say that Isaac is looking for his list of jobs for Juniper. We'll go with that 4 I just rolled.
Great. Ooh. Okay, so you start rummaging through. You're looking for that list of jobs.
God damn, what? I know what's this.
You started out with this list and you kind of tear like bits off of it, and you've had to like tape more on because you've had to rotate through and like cycle through with June, and you know exactly what this fucking list looks like, but you can't find it. You do at some point grab a piece of paper that is still folded and wax sealed, and it is wax sealed with the seal of your imperial buyer. You have no idea how long this has been sitting here, but it shouldn't have been as long as it has been.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So I don't find the list, but I find this letter.
Not on a 3 luck check. No.
Who the hell gets fired from the general store 3 times? I don't understand it. All right. Oh, Harisa, what's going on right now? thank you for helping with the pigs and whatnot. But how's the guard? What's going on?
But pigs are wrangled. They are back where they should be. Scrumpy is as scrumpy as ever. The guards are fine. Everything else fine. I go. You fine. I go. I leave you.
I've had better days, but you sure? Y'all don't need anything?
Yeah, I do not want to intrude.
Is the water cooler doing fine?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I will
Sure.
go.
You don't want to tag along? No, you don't want to enjoy this conversation I'm about to have with Juniper about getting fired from the general store for the third time.
I mean, I don't know why she was hired back twice, but that's not for me to talk about.
We don't have enough jobs here. Can she work for you? Hold on.
I will go. I will see you soon. Isaac, if there are problems, I come back. But trust me, no problems, all good. I leave. I see you. Goodbye. I go.
Harisa, you're great at your job. And he sits down in the chair that was broken. God, shit.
So Isaac, you drop back down into that chair, and we once again cut away to one of the little cottages, sort of along one of the western ridges here in Raleigh, and it's a small one, and it's always a little fragrant. This particular cottage, there's always something going on in there that smells of castor oil and menthols of various kinds, and it's just got this very kind of earthy, almost medicinal smell. And as we enter, we see a workshop that is just filled to the gunnels with steam and, those shelves that they have in libraries, those drawers, that like Dewey Decimal drawer system that they've got, just like walls lined with those, and a couple of cots laid out in the middle of the room, and there's steam kind of everywhere. There's a little bit of, it actually looks like the owner of this cottage had kind of like dug down into whatever water system runs underneath this hill, and like piped steam into this room. It's this bizarre kind of combination of pipes and mechanical, wood and herbal kind of a situation. And we see a young woman in repose upon one of the cots. Sam, if you would please describe your character.
Sure. So Juniper Snowthorn, she's 20 years old. She's about 5'6", 5'7". She likes to pretend she's a lot taller. She walks around with her mother's staff attached to her back. And she, out of a pit of rage one day, she decided to shave half of her head. So the left side of her head is completely shaved down. She's got this mop of chestnut brown hair falling over the other side. She's a half elf. And up above her ears and over her forehead is a bandana type wrapping that she has around her head. She's got a little sapphire earring that she's attached to the top of that bandana. And she is hiding, probably. And right now she's a little bit worried.
You are, in fact, hiding out. This is often where you come to hide out. This is Raleigh's infirmary that is managed by the eccentric Oz, who is about 3 foot tall, currently puttering about in the back of the room. I think you tell me what this interaction looks like. You've just been fired for the third time from the quartermasters. Gods know how many times you've been fired from other unrelated things.
We don't talk.
I'm gonna have you roll your luck check here in a minute, but I am curious, like, how are you? Are you talking with Oz? Are you just taking space and enjoying the steam? Are you where are you at right now, June?
June is trying to meditate a little bit. And I think she's finding some reprieve in Oz's space. And I think also coming to Oz to kind of like vent a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't her fault being fired at all. So she just wants to make that very clear to somebody that will listen to her.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll me that luck check? Flat,
Okay.
please. No disadvantage. Yeah. That's the low point so far, friends.
That's a 13.
Okay. June, we're actually going to do something a little different here. I want you to tell me 13's not that unlucky, right? I mean, it's definitely not the luckiest. It's maybe a little symbolic, but it's also above average. So, it's got some tug in both directions.
Sounds on brand.
Given that you rolled a 13 on your luck check, what was going on that ultimately got June fired? What was the straw that broke the back?
Okay, so what happened was she was in the back, and she has her little sketchbook that she carries around with her, and she had just taken all of her art supplies to the back because she's been told she can't work on them in the front. So she brought them to the back of the shop, and she's writing out her little signs, and she was attaching string to the signs. She was making the boards for the boars. She was going to drape them over the boars. And so she was putting a lot of time and effort into it, and apparently she's not allowed to do that in the back of the shop either.
So I think that's June's sort of interpretation of how things went down. I think that the way that, kind of what you saw was exactly that, right? And your most recent boss, the quartermaster, Benny Jazir, had sort of come in, and she had just flown off the handle at you, demanded that you get out, not willing to hear your excuses or arguments. So, maybe after a fashion you had complied, and you had sort of meandered your way over to the infirmary. And I think right away you would come in, and Oz, kind of from the back, had been like, June! Oh, June! Oh, goodness. Did it happen again, June?
I'm real sorry.
Oh, June. Sweetie. Oh, goodness. Oh, my.
Benny said I could do the signs, not do the signs in the front of the store, so I took it to the back of the store. I was just following her rules. I did everything I was told. I just took it to the back of the store.
And you see that Oz starts skittering around, pulling things from drawers. And Oz seems to be a bit of a tinkerer. They actually have these really thick, sort of low, pince-nez glasses that they wear. And they have from a backpack that they wear, they've got a little helping hand. It's this mechanical arm that they can twist and turn and have hold things. And so you see that they kind of pull that out, put a bowl in it, start plucking you some herbs and some things, some calming, some lavenders and things to just sort of calm you down. And they rush that over to a little heat diffuser, kind of a little stump, and drop it on there, and the kind of the room starts to, kind of perfume with these very calming scents. And Oz, kind of gestures to a cot and sits on one themselves and says, "Now, June, sweetie, okay, I'll grant you, Betty's a hard ass, right? Like, Betty's a hard ass. I get that. You get that. I get that. We all get that.
Sure.
But you gotta understand, June. It's not that she didn't want you to do it in the front of the shop. It's that she was
that's what she
tasked
said.
with not letting you do it at all.
Well, she should have said that.
Well,
She should have said that. She should have been
if
specific
shoulds were
about
horses,
that.
we'd all have lots of horses, wouldn't we?
Well, we don't have horses, we have boars, and that's why I was making signs for the boars. It's really important, and I don't see how she didn't understand that was important to me. Those were my needs at the time.
Well, we all do have needs, and those needs ought to be respected. June,
I just don't want Isaac to find out just yet.
I want you to roll me a perception check, if you don't mind.
Oh, shit.
And I just realised she was doing billboards. Get it?
Billboard.
Billboards.
Hey, that's very good, Emily. Hey, Emily. Hey, Emily. Hey, Emily. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
That's very good. I like
The
that
market,
bit.
listen,
That's a good bit.
billboards.
I now
we know
resign from
someone.
unbalanced encounters.
That's another 13.
All right. On a 13 perception, yeah, you absolutely clock a man that you do not get along with on a good day, Maurice Broadbeam, huffing on his pipe and storming beyond you up to Isaac's office. And
I'm gonna
as you
duck
say,
down.
I don't want Isaac. I think this is actually a reflexive role. I don't think you really processed it. You were too sort of distraught and just like beelining for Oz. I think this is almost like you're going back over what you had seen, and it clicks like, oh, fuck, like you maybe have the amount of time that it takes Isaac to stop like rage shakes before he's going to find you and figure out what to do with you next. And I think that as you're processing this, I think that Oz, kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, honey. Oh, no, he already knows, doesn't he?"
I mean, as long as Harisa doesn't know too at the same time. I mean, I want the right time to tell them separately. And, maybe they'll finally see, I hope they'll see and understand that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be back there. I'm not supposed to be in the stores. I got important work to do, Oz.
I know you do. Listen, Juniper, I need to know, it is one of my needs right now that I need to know, are you in a space where you could receive some constructive criticism at the moment?
Of course. Always. From you, Oz. Always.
All right.
Lay it on me.
Okay. And you see that they kind of wring their hands a little bit. And how many more of these do you think that you can go through, sweetie? How many more times can Isaac put you in a new job before he just gets plumb fed up?
Well, if he would just listen to me, then he would know that what he wants me to do in this town is not what I'm meant to do.
I think when you say that, on a 13 luck check, I think Oz scampers kind of back to their bookshelf, and kind of there's some books on this, and kind of in this space as well. I think they actually pull out one of the like hard drawers that pulls out like 4 of them at once, and it's just filled with books, and grabs one and hands it back over to you. And you see that it is just a used old field guide to the plants of the northern deserts. And you see Oz says, "It's a big world out there, June. It's a hard world out there. I've been through some of it. I don't know if you're meant for bigger things than here, or if you're meant to figure out how to make this place your home, but just don't ever forget that there's a lot out there."
I know. I just hope one day I can make him and, well, maybe Daddy and Mama proud someday with what I want to do, with what I believe. So, I don't know. Maybe it is here. Maybe I can, someday someone will listen to me and I'll be able to make something better of this place, but thank you for this, though. This is exciting.
You go on and you keep that. I got that locked away. I know that book cover.
Thank you.
You hold on to it and you learn what you can and you just remember that you just keep learning what you can and if lessons were horses, I used that one already. Hold on, I'll work on that. And they just like turn and like descend into the infirmary, like just muttering to themselves. And I think with that, we actually jump back in time a little bit to the wee hours of the morning. We see a ceramic statue in a kitchen garden on a high ledge just before dawn. Cinder, would you please describe your character for us?
Sure, yeah. So, Guard is a looming figure. They have very long, skinny arms, giant shoulder pads that look like they're made out of, like, bits of weird metals and stone. Their whole body looks like it's made of these strange metals and stone. They have huge gauntlets, much smaller legs, and they sort of stand as if they're like hunched over. Their head is too small for their body, but still pretty big compared to like a normal person's head. And then in where their face should be is a porcelain sort of Greco-Roman style mask, just right in front of their face. They are a golem. And yeah, they hold all of their gauntlets and their shoulders have these patterns on them that almost look like the patterns that you would see on like old vases, like these little intricate sort of shapes and woven bits and pieces. Oh, and I have an axe that is like a little bit too big for most people to use, that has similar patterns on it as well.
That is extremely good. And we see Guard sort of in this kitchen garden. I'm going to ask about that in a second, but before I do, I would appreciate if you could roll me, again, a flat luck check.
Yeah, sure. Let's go, baby. 14.
Our best luck check of the session. Hell yes. Okay.
I'm a lucky guy.
Cinder, you are a lucky guy. You keep that positivity going. We're all lucky, frankly. When you really think about it, I don't know. This bit's nothing.
I got you. Lucky to have friends like us.
See, this is what I mean by, anyway, because now we're making the audience feel bad that they're not friends with us, which, I mean, it isn't true. You're definitely our friends.
They could be friends with us.
In a non-parasocial, totally normal, actually human way, you are 100%. All our best friends.
Friends.
You're friends with us every time you listen to Unbalanced Encounters.
I'm not friends with any of these people that are listening.
Not friends.
record.
best friends.
You're best friends with all of us except Cinder every time you listen to Unbalanced Encounters.
Amazing. Guard, why are you in this kitchen garden? What does your sort of late night, earliest morning kind of look like?
Most people need sleep. I watch. When it is late and there is not much to watch, I enjoy the garden. There is an older woman who occasionally also does not sleep. And it is pleasant to sit and be in her garden and her company.
I think that as you're sort of reflecting on that, you see a little waft of steam kind of rise out, wavering in the moonlight from the window kind of over your shoulder. And you hear a kettle pick up a whistle and very quickly move off boiling water. And you see this very old, kind of hunched dwarven woman, shaved head, fully bald, massive glasses, big kind of dangly tin and brass earrings, and like a choker. She's in like a bathrobe, shuffles out, and kind of full moon up in the sky sees you kind of watching over her kitchen garden. Guard, you would know this as Gerta Broadbean, Auntie Gerta to most people in town. She is Maurice's wife, and this is the Broadbean cottage. And she takes a little sip of this oolong that she's made. Well, I'd always offer you a cup of tea, Guard, but I think 2 years in, we can skip that formality.
That makes sense.
Everything right as rain out here, sweetheart?
There were some unusual movements amongst the geckos, but I do not think it is an issue.
Geckos, huh? Lord, I don't know.
They are interesting creatures.
I don't fool around none going down there into that woods. And she kind of drifts off for a second. You kind of get the sense that she might be thinking about, you immediately clock like the dangers of the woods, right? Like, it's a very wild place. Things happen. People get hurt. It's a logging community. It's not uncommon. You sort of dial in and she starts to think about the most recent incident, the disappearance that happened a few months back. There was yet another member of the community that strayed a little too far away from the logging camp at a grove and just never came back. And she sort of snaps back in and says, well, it just don't interest me none.
So long as you stay within the parameters of the village, I think the geckos won't do you any harm.
She gives a little chuckle, and I think, takes another sip of tea and kind of rests her head on your very long arm, gives a little yawn.
I look down awkwardly.
We're lucky to have you, I know not everybody thinks it. I know what they be saying about the Imperials, but I think we're lucky to have you.
What they say does not bother me.
There you have it.
Yeah, Guard is, if she's like leaning on him, Guard is just going to look down and sort of, in the same way that, like, he was kind of watching the geckos earlier. He's kind of like, oh yeah, these guys got to lean on stuff a lot. It's weird. But that's all that's going through his head in that moment as she's leaning on him.
I think that's exactly right, and I think that she kind of vibes that from you, and that's right? Like that's, it's you have made her feel safe in this moment. Actually, go ahead and take inspiration for me.
Sure.
Because you have made her feel safe in this moment, despite that not really meaning anything to you. And I think that what we actually see now is a bit of a time lapse as Guard kind of exists in this constant state of awareness. We see Gerda kind of finish her tea and zip inside and finally find her way back to sleep. We see some geckos moving in the trees off in the very far distance. We see the sun begin to crest over the eastern horizon. We see Scrumpy letting the pigs out into the creek, and several of them drinking their fill and looking at each other with this moment of quizzicality. Guard, if you would please roll me a quick perception check.
Of course. 18. I am Guard.
Yeah, on an 18, you specifically marked some negative space that they're not in. These boar are willing to get kind of up close next to each other. You notice some negative space, some empty space that they won't go into. And the ones that are closest to that space rush out into the town as the sun fully rises, and Bene Gesserit makes her way to the quartermaster's, to the general store, and Maurice makes his way to the mill. Harisa makes her way out into town. You see some children kind of come up, and they sort of run through this vegetable garden. Several of them kind of hang off of you and dangle and swing. How does Guard react to that?
I try to shake them off.
I think that as you try to shake them off, they use that as a challenge, and you actually see one of these little kids fully does a flip and lands, and all of the kids freak out. It's the coolest shit they've ever seen, and they're all back patting and rush off. Again, we're seeing this in just time lapse. We see the town kind of make its way into kind of public life and get ready. And last, but certainly not particularly late, somewhere around 7 o'clock, we see our last of the Broadbeam family. We see Leah Broadbeam, daughter of Maurice and Gerda. She is a young dwarven lumberjack, very long red hair, kind of down, down to her waist, braided in these very thick, kind of no nonsense plaits. And she fully has an axe up over her shoulder, and she walks out and says, morning, Guard. Everything look right?
Good morning. There is something strange that scared some boar that I would like to speak to Harisa about. But other than that, the morning is fine.
That's good stuff. All right, well, good timing, actually, because I was just going over to see Isaac. We got to get ready for our shift. You want to head over with me?
I would. Do you need assistance carrying any of your wares?
She just casually hands you her lunch that's tied up in a handkerchief. And it's just if you're offering.
I hold it like a little purse in front of me, even though it's very small.
Yes.
Sort of waddling with it.
Amazing. You make your way to Isaac's office. And through the commotion inside, Leah says, Isaac, you old so-and-so, you ready to go to work? She walks in, Guard behind her.
On the ground still from the chair.
Your chair is broken.
Isaac, what the hell are you doing on the floor? And Isaac, this is meaningful to you because you are just prostrate, it seems on the floor, just kind of in a heap.
Embracing the day.
Yeah, it really just embracing everything about this wonderful day. Leah, is your second in command. She is your lieutenant, a position that you filled for Dale Snowthorn for years before his sort of untimely death. Leah was the first person that was hired into Raleigh. She has been with you since the absolute beginning. She's an incredibly competent lumberjack. She takes after her father in that way. Her father and mother were brought on because that was the deal. And so you are just splayed out in front of her. What do you do?
Oh, let me just get up. Hold on. And he just sits. He doesn't stand up. He's just sitting on the ground. Leah, we've known each other a long time, right?
Yeah, too long.
Friends, we're buddies, we're pals.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's got to run its course at some point, right?
The courses have been run, absolutely, but there's rocky moments and whatnot, and upset.
You talk about the time you fell out the tree?
Listen, that tree had branches in which were very misleading, and so I will continue to take pride in the fact that I thought it was a stable branch in which I stepped on. Listen, this is beyond the point. The point is, your daddy came in earlier talking about a millstone, and I got to figure that out. So, my hands are tied. I was wondering.
Dick, you're kidding me. The millstone's gone?
Gone's a strong word. I would say more of just, a bit disabled, possibly. Or something. God, when you need, I don't know, oil or charge up, maybe.
I don't need anything, but
okay.
I do have information to share from my watch.
Outstanding. So, Leah, you're going to hire Juniper, and we're going to listen to God's conversation. God, go ahead and start talking.
Juniper!
Mm-hmm. God, you had something to say? Leah, it's very rude to interrupt.
We're going to talk about this. We're going to... Guard, go ahead. Go ahead, Guard. Tell us what you know.
Early this morning, I saw the boars by the river. Something spooked some of them. I believe some of the boars may be running amok throughout the village. Beyond that, the thing that spooked them was confusing. I am not sure how to describe it, and I think we should see what it is. Also, axe drummer, your chair is broken.
But beyond everything, that was wonderful information you have gathered for us, God, and I appreciate that. You have multiple times you have told me about said chair that I already know.
I wasn't sure.
You know what? That is on me. I should have said something.
Sitting on the floor.
God, what did you say spooked the boar? Was it a thing? Was it an animal?
It was not a thing that I could perceive, but it was a thing that spooked the boars.
Is Caden Thomas all right?
Caden Thomas is fine. He was rolling about in the mud. But
Okay.
So you couldn't see it, but something they sensed, maybe something invisible?
Perhaps. I thought it best to come communicate to you first before I began experimenting.
I think that is very wise, God, very wise. We will go together and we will have a look at the river and see if we can see what happened.
Yes, Leah, take notes. See, dire things are happening. We have -1 millstone. The entire city depends on it. Town depends on it. And yet we're worried about why pigs are scared of their own sneezes. It's priorities. Leah. Those are the things that we need to worry about.
No, priority means I get breakfast. I did not get breakfast because I was trampled by a boar. So, this is my priority for today. You can deal with millstones. That's out of my, jurisdiction.
Please. You know what? I would like to talk about the millstone for a minute, Isaac, please, if I may. Talk about the single most fucking important thing that we could possibly be dealing with right now.
Correction. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Thank you.
Harisa,
Thank you.
what
Yes.
happened? The mess hall should have got your breakfast. What's wrong? Or at least
I go to the door, I got trampled, I then go to the door again, thinking, fuck the boar, and then the door is locked. I don't know what happened.
the door
So then I had to go.
was locked. Did you push or did you pull?
Isaac, I need you to roll me a fucking deception check here. I need you to roll me. So you get insight against this.
That was too good. That was too good.
Alrighty, insight.
What is with my rolls, dude? It's a 7.
Versus a 17. Harisa, as you see this glorious deflection, this master fencing maneuver of did you push or did you pull, you immediately clock that Isaac just didn't assign a mess officer.
There was nobody there this morning, was there?
What? Now looking at my paperwork on my. Well, I can't see my desk right now because I'm sitting on the floor. But
with no breakfast,
that is completely
that's
fair.
the one thing I need is breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I would like some breakfast, please.
Leah,
as soon as I get back from the-
Juniper's fired. I found my mess deck individual. So go ahead and fire her later on today after you hire her, and then she'll get the job at the mess deck. Problem solved. See, I don't know why everybody's worried about what's wrong and whatnot. We got this in the bag. So are we going for boars or
Why am I hiring June to fire her later, knowing damn well she's never gonna lift a finger to help the logging operation? And why are we even talking about this if we ain't got no millstone? What good is elderwood if we can't mill it?
Listen. It's an attitude like that, and that's why you are second in command and I am first. We gotta just ride this out. Relax.
Isaac.
We're gonna do some breathing exercise. No, I learned this from Oz. There was some fumes and whatnot. I got a little dizzy, but if we do this breathing exercise, we try this out. There we go.
Does the breathing
relax.
exercise with you?
Just relax. Yeah. Don't get grumpy like your daddy. You know nobody like him. All right. Now,
Dungeon Master, are there any crates or boxes or anything in the room?
tons.
Tons?
There will be tons because he has no clue what he's doing in this office space.
So while you guys are having this conversation, I'm gonna just pick up one of the big to medium sized boxes. I'm gonna push your chair aside. And I'm gonna put it down so you can sit on it.
Oh, Leah,
Chair.
take notes once again. This is now my favorite person in Valley right here. Thank you, God. Okay, millstone. I'm sorry, Leah. Yes, let's talk about the millstone. So important, whatnot.
Isaac, you know that. I mean, damn it, man. I think you're doing the best you can. But we're out here holding on by a goddamn thread. And you're asking me to replace real lumberjacks with tree huggers fired from every goddamn job because they can't stop protesting. And you're asking me to go out and fetch more goddamn elderwood to sit in a pile while Daddy dies of tobacco because we don't have no millstone and he's got nothing to do but smoke all day.
To be fair, I've been talking to him about
yeah, and I appreciate that. We're all working on it with him. He'll get there eventually. My point is that we got to work backwards here. Isaac, we got to work backwards. Right? We got to start with that millstone. And I ain't got the slightest clue what we're going to be doing about that. And that is why I'm second in command. I'm waiting on you.
All right. Can Isaac make some type of check to try and figure out what would be valuable enough to get the mineheads thought process of trading for a millstone?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me goodness. What are
I've been rolling great tonight.
Yeah, it's been top tier. I think this is probably going to be Wisdom is okay, probably insight. Insight into what they want. So I think this is insight.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's a 19.
Hell yeah. On a 19, you know that that your bellows in the refinery is something that they have been eyeing since Dale's time, because it is one of the most well manufactured and powerful bellows. You're able to get some pretty high temperatures that would be helpful for smelting some of their softer metals. And so that would potentially be something that they'd be enthusiastic about.
With the bellows, is that something that could be remade to the same ability?
I think on a 19, you could theoretically you could figure out how to horse trade something worse, right? Like something that's a little bit less effective, and it might slow down production a little bit, but it still gets you there, right? Like you know that you don't need this crazy top tier bellows system that you have in order to function. It helps, but you don't need it.
Right.
You need a mill wheel in order to function.
You need the millstone the most. Okay.
And so that's what you get on a 19. And I will actually say that, this is a wisdom based check. You just get a little ping in the back of your head reminding you that you have that unopened letter from your buyer, which could be more money, right? It could be, who knows what it is.
Shit. Just starts opening it because it's been in his hand the whole time.
You pull it open, and the first thing that you notice is the signature, and it is signed High Scepter in big calligraphic letters, and your stomach just sinks. This is not going to be a good letter. You start reading, and it says, I hope that the guard contingent that we have sent continues to prove satisfactory for the safety and well-being of your camp. We appreciate the work that you do and expect that our generous contribution be put to good use. I am delighted to inform you that their Royal Highness, the Emperor, will be doubling next month's order. We will intend to pay the same rate, and while we understand that the copse regrowth has been slower than you had anticipated, we trust that you'll be able to deliver on time.
All right. Sounds good. All right. You know what we all need? You know what everyone in this room needs? We need a drink. That's what we need.
Full smash cut. We're now in Scrumpy's Tavern.
I was going to have either Guard or Harisa go snatch up Juniper.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I think you said the both of them is what you end up doing. June, you're sitting in the infirmary. Harisa and Guard, you approach. And June, you bolt upright, and Harisa and Guard are here.
June's eyes just get super big, and she kind of stands at attention because she feels like that's one of the best ways to deal with Harisa is to to act like she's in line for the most part. But Harisa, hey God, oh my God. Hi, how's it going? Did you guys come to relax a little bit? I was just about to leave. I've got some stuff to handle. Bye. She's gonna try to walk past them out the door.
Guard is just gonna put a hand. Poof,
yeah, perfect.
How are we gonna do this? I think we're gonna treat this as a grapple check, Guard, and Guard, I need you to roll me athletics, and June, I need you to roll me the better of athletics or acrobatics. You have to beat a 16. So I think you're trying to roll pretty high.
Uh-oh.
That is a 9. Guard.
That's a 9 for me.
Boom, slams out a hand.
Isaac wants a word.
She's just gonna very gently put her hands on Guard's arm and be like, and I'd love to see him. It would be great to see him today. I just, I got some stuff I gotta do out in the woods. I still got a little bit.
Juniper,
Yeah.
come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna bring me there no matter what, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes. As we're walking back there, Guard turns to Harisa. The mill is important, and the millstone is important, but these are not our job. There is something weird by the river. I do not want that to go uninspected.
Noted. I agree with you. I would like to go and see the river as soon as possible. We will get the lovely Juniper to Isaac. Might have a quick wetting of the whistle, and we'll go to the river very soon.
Okay.
Cut over to Scrumpy's, who is just delighted that everyone has decided that this is going to be a fun morning for fucking once.
Fun guy, Scrumpy. I'm a fun guy.
It just has cups rolling about, every time there's a one that's been used, he tries to pick it up and it kind of it'll fall on the floor, and he's just kind of all over himself, twisting and turning and pouring this beverage that tastes a little bit like have you ever had...
Oh my god, please say Uzo.
Have you ever... Okay, I want you to imagine, because again, that licorice is about right? Uzo, but if Uzo was specifically made by Jack Daniels.
Oh god.
For folks that are listening to this, because it's an audio production, every person on the podcast just made the foulest face, they just
it's so bad.
It was
stinky.
sneered.
In setting up these shots and whatnot, Isaac always has 2 in front of him.
One undrank.
Yeah, and has one that's always undrank. Juniper, have a seat. Come on. Have a seat. Right. No.
Isaac, it's so good to see you. I just
you thought
really
you
need
had
to
to
go.
But go ahead and sit down. You got to go here.
See, I told Kate. Listen, I told.
I'm listening. Huh?
I told KTA that I was gonna go and see him and rub his belly a little bit. So I'm gonna be right.
Oh, he's right here. He's right here. He's literally right here. He's drinking with us. This is perfect.
You see Caden Thomas rolls over, doesn't stand, just full seal rolls over to your table.
Majestic beast. Majestic.
And he just...
Oh, hi, KTA. Hello. And she's just going to put all of her focus on rubbing up on this sweet, sweet baby.
Caden Thomas is just into it.
I'll take one of her dad's shots and hand it to her.
I would like, Isaac, as you do that, I would like you to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure.
And June, if you take the shot, I would like that same saving throw from you as well.
Okay. Yes, June is gonna.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's an 8.
Isaac, you're getting a little. You're getting the amount of tipsy that you would expect.
Oh.
This stuff is pretty high. Yay.
Oh no.
That one.
That's a 1.
Let's go.
That one.
You know, me and your dad used to drink at Scrumpy's all the time, and you think I can hold my liquor, man? I bet you could do the same thing. Go ahead, DM.
June, I need you to actually roll me a D100.
What?
That's always a good sign.
Oh no. Oh no.
D100s are great.
All right, a 98. I'll get back to you on that in about 2 seconds, but in the meantime, you are blasted.
I'm just, listen. Did I tell you about the other day what I saw in the woods? Did you know that there's over 100 different moss types in the forest, and that how soft they are, and it depends. Some of them grow on the trees and some of them grow on the rocks. And did you know that there's an ecosystem within that very moss that helps the moss live? Do you know what happens when you have those wood choppers go out there, those murderers with those? They are going and they are killing the moss that they are walking on and all the organisms
I hand her another
that
shot.
live in them. Thank you.
Little birds drift into the window and lands. And on a 98,
What the hell?
they start whistling. They start whistling this little jaunty tune that is like this melodic undersweep to June's impassioned pleas for justice for the moss. She's just, you have to be considerate of all of the different kinds, and every time we go out there, we're causing damage, and
It's like a choreographed dance.
I've been trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell all of you. When you step on the ground in the forest, you kill a bunch of things.
I want to kind of take a step back here and figure out kind of where everybody is spending their afternoons. And it sounds like we're going to get a little bit of sort of creek investigation from Harisa and Guard, which I'm here for. Go.
I was going to volunteer Juniper to assist me at noon to go talk with the Minehead boys.
All right. So I think that you propose that. Leah kind of juts in and she's like, it'll take a little while to get there. We should probably leave basically now, and she's kind of still freaking out about the birds.
We're good.
And so I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and do Harisa and Guard in one moment, and then we'll jump back over to Isaac, June, and Leah as they make their way to out into the world. Actually, Harisa, I need a Constitution saving throw from you.
Oh yeah, I had a couple shots, didn't I, before I
Yeah, you did.
exited. I got a 5.
Yeah, you're not doing great. You know what? The way that I'm actually going to mechanically impose some stuff here is that both Harisa and June are going to take disadvantage on your next check. But no D100s for you.
Drink
And
responsibly.
yes,
That's right.
we balanced encounters encourage everyone to drink responsibly. We do encourage everyone to drink, but only
Of age.
responsibly.
Of age, responsibly of age. Make sure you get that in there.
Or just drink chocolate milk. If you just drink chocolate milk, it doesn't matter what age you are.
Yeah, drink chocolate milk. It's fine. When they say don't drink and drive, it's anything. They don't tell you that, but you're not allowed to literally consume liquids and drive. It's very against the law.
No, but real talk. When I was like 5 and I heard that shit.
Everyone believed the same thing. Yes.
Water? I can't drink water, but I need.
What the fuck?
This is a 10-hour drive. What am I supposed to do?
I'm gonna fucking die.
I'm gonna. I'm sorry. Went off the rails.
Just little 5-year-old Craig. I'm gonna fucking die.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
My lips are so chapped right now.
All right. Fantasy hats. Back to Rally. Harisa and Guard, you are kind of making your way along the creek. Imagine you sort of started kind of at the pen near Scrumpy's cottage. Where are you headed from there? What does this look like?
Let's try to find that spot. And I would like to spend some time trying to find where I saw the boars get spooked.
I think that's probably going to look like an investigate check,
Right.
unless you have an argument for something else.
I don't. I will say that I am not opposed to wading into the river, sort of just,
Okay.
not looking with a fine comb.
We shall see.
That's a natural 20. So
That's a natural 20
19.
-1 for 19. Wonderful. Gotta respect the crit here. You find quite a bit. The first thing that you find is obviously you find the trail of hoof prints leading from that one spot, and you can see that there is an outline, kind of in this encircling this patch of ground, and the hoof prints lead off in the directions that you would expect given kind of where the boars ran. In the middle of that patch, you see a pair of prints after a fashion. I like that this is you. This is very good. Roll me an insight check. This is a how well does Guard know human fashion?
Not well.
As it turns out. There are a couple of like rectangular prints in this spot, right? Like kind of rectangular grooves in the ground. Kind of two sort of in line about a foot apart, and then another set of two a couple inches apart, a couple inches away from that, again about a foot apart. And so sort of four rectangles pressed into the ground in this clearing, in this little circle here. And then you see a set of hoof prints lead off in a direction that you didn't see anything run. And that direction kind of doubles over the creek a couple of times. You wade into the water, and the prints disappear in the water. So that's what you get for prints. You also see, as you get down the creek a little bit, that there are stones kind of lining the edges of the creek that all seem to be white for some reason. They seem to have been painted white.
And after I show the prints and strange little box imprints in the earth to Harisa, I will approach the river and I will poke at one of these painted rocks with the butt of my axe. And if they do not do anything particularly nefarious upon my poking, I shall pick one up.
Okay. You poke it, nothing happens. You pick one up. It's a rock that someone or something has painted with this, kind of white chalky substance. It's dry and almost powdery, but it seems to have like dripped down as if someone had applied it with like a brush or as a glaze.
Harisa, there are footprints that lead off in a direction that I did not see an animal going in. Hoof prints. And what do you make of this? And I hold up the painted rock. There's many of these along the riverside.
I'll have a look at the rock first as he's holding it up. Can I do like an investigation or something on that?
Yeah, on the rock? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
I get disadvantage, don't I? Because I'm a little bit...
Yeah, because you're tipsy. Yeah.
Okay.
Just roll double 19.
That is 6 + 2, 8. What the fuck? Who paints rocks? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. In that case, I'll put attention to the footprints. And do I recognize what those...
Yeah.
I know...
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. They're sandals.
Oh.
They're elevated sandals. Kind of in our world, very much those Japanese wooden sort of farmer sandals.
Do I know anyone who wears them in the village?
Not in town, no.
I'll just tell you this one thing. If you just stop moving, guard, I will tell you.
It is hard to stop moving. I will try.
You and your twin, I think, need to go and I think we should do walks around the perimeter, see if there are any more of these, if we see anything else similar. I think we both do a walk and then meet back up at the gate later.
Sounds good. I do have one question.
Yes.
Should we leave the painted rocks, or should we shove them aside, push them into the river?
Ooh, you are devious. I like you, Garda. I knew I kept you around for a reason. I think we push them into the water, wash off the paint, and see if they get repainted. Huh? Sound good.
Sound good.
Sound good. I am a genius. This is good. This is good plan. Harisa come up with good plan. Right. Let's wash these rocks, do a walk, come back, see what happens.
I think that you really put your sort of chest into this, right? Like, I think that there's, like there's like an element, drunk as you are, Harissa, I think you're starting to sober up a little bit. Certainly, Guard, there's an element of like, this is what the job is, right? Like, do the patrols, do the rounds, be kind of like, be on top of things, know the threats, and you're doing this bigger perimeter. You're like out in the woods a little bit, like kind of wandering the tree line and ensuring that nobody's kind of making camp or anything. And I can give you this for free. No one is. And you make your way. You see Isaac and Isaac and Leah and June as they leave. Kind of as you start your rounds and you do this whole big thing. You eventually circle your way back in and make your way back to the creek. To see a man who is hunched over some rocks, painting them with a liquid chalk mixture. Harissa, you know immediately this to be your subordinate, Martin von Winkleberry III.
Oh,
wow,
no.
that's a name.
Wow.
That's a good name.
Martin.
I'm getting all that. Martin Van Winkleberry.
Martin von Winkleberry
The third.
Berry.
The third.
That means 3 times these dumbasses named their child.
Why is he painting rocks?
That is a very good question. Let us ask him, shall we? Let's go up. Martin?
Oh! And he drops a rock into the water and it splashes and, kind of he gets the water washes the chalk up kind of onto him. And so he's like covered in like paint spray. And he sort of stands up and turns around. And this man is actually older than you by quite a bit. He has a, kind of a thick beard, white, kind of very meticulously, trimmed. He's wearing like this ancient imperial, like field wear, right? Like almost kind of like fatigues, where he's just the ancient, like was probably Martin von Winkleberry II's. And he stands up and he's got a paintbrush in one hand and he says, Sergeant Harisa, I didn't see you there. Apologies. I was in the middle of taking some initiative. Yes.
Initiative. That is what you call it. What initiative are you taking? What is this?
Well, it's a security risk that this water simply runs through this community all willy-nilly. And so, I've taken it upon myself, because, well, frankly, no one else seems to take any damned initiative around here, to paint the rocks and use them as a border, you see, as a border along this creek, so that one might see it in either day or moonlight hours and be able to avoid falling into the creek and drowning. This creek is fucking, at its deepest, maybe 2 feet. And he goes on and he says, but the most interesting thing has happened is, frankly, it's galling. Someone has taken the rocks and while they were still curing, put them back into the water. So I have to start again. And now this is going to be my entire day, unless you have other orders for me, of course. If you have more important things for me to be doing, I felt I should take some initiative around here.
Yes. There are many, many things more important than painting rocks. I appreciate your initiative, Martin. I do not understand it, but it is appreciated. No, it's not appreciated. No, this is so. Stop painting rocks. I will have to order you to stop painting rocks. Because we have, in fact, a potential intruder.
What has gone wrong? Has someone been injured? Has there been a fire? Is there a catastrophe present?
Have you seen any smoke?
Well, no, but I haven't seen anything go wrong.
Have you heard any screams?
Well, no, that's why I decided to take the initiative to paint the rocks.
Yes.
It's a preventative measure.
She just starts rubbing her temples like...
Have you seen anybody wearing any sandals?
He physically lifts up a foot to check himself as if he could be wearing sandals, and he's wearing like plated leather boots, clearly not sandals, but he checks. Then he puts his foot back down and he says, "I don't believe so. Are sandals now forbidden in this community?"
You could just see a vein pulsing on Harisa's forehead, in fact, yes, sandals are now forbidden, but that is another. Especially.
Let this be the first rule of Rally: no sandals in Rally.
Oh no, that's all June wears, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
Martin, there has been some suspicious activity on the perimeter, and we saw some footprints that actually are sandaled footprints, and we need you to do double shift around the perimeter all through the night, just in case you see this sandaled individual again.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, if you'd be so kind.
Persuasion.
At advantage because she's his.
That's a good argument. That's a good argument.
Thank you.
Go ahead and take it with advantage.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Because I've got a -1 to persuasion.
Yeah.
I got double 2.
My friends, that's a 1 in 400
You did
chance of a
not.
double 2.
I did.
A
Oh
double
my God.
2 -1 for a dirty,
Wow.
filthy 1. And on that dirty 1, he gives you just the most inscrutable. Oh, you don't like this look at all.
I bet.
This
I
is a
fucking
bad look. Aye. And he hops to and begins his perimeter search. And with that, we cut. We cut into the forest, the Western Wields, as Isaac and June and Leah, now beginning to sober, are making their long trek through the pass of the Western Mountains to the far side, where you will most certainly meet up with the Minehead Boy. You are running a little bit behind. It will probably take you until the early afternoon, but you suspect that you'll be able to catch them within eyesight fairly easily. What are Isaac and June? You guys haven't really had a chance to talk about June getting fired, so I imagine that probably comes up.
June is she pull. Were those white rocks everywhere?
Yeah, you saw some white rocks. You definitely
Okay,
saw some
cool.
white rocks.
I picked up a couple, and June has been scribbling, tree, don't murder trees, and quit the cut on these white rocks in black paint while we've been walking and dropping them behind her.
Like that.
Now, June, I understand that you have a mission, a quest in which you must stop the destruction of this. It's beautiful force.
I'm so glad that you agree it's destruction.
I didn't say that. However,
Absolutely.
I said I respect your quest. There's more to it than just stopping everything. We can't do that. Because are you going to find a way to be able to make sure your friend Harisa has a job? Guard? You wouldn't let guard down now, would you?
Of course not. Listen, Isaac, I appreciate everything that you do here, minus the terrible destruction and demolishing of the precious ecosystem that is around us and that keeps us alive.
Oh, okay, yeah. And with that, he turns around 3 times. 3 times. You have been fired from that store. You have literally been working at every employed space within Raleigh that I can get you.
That was not my fault.
And now you are once again unemployed.
It was not my fault, Isaac. I did everything Benny asked me to. I did everything. It was,
No.
Listen, if she asked me not to do my artwork in the front of the store, so I stopped and I moved it to the back, and she does not respect the kind of work that I'm doing, and it was a miscommunication, and
June, bless your heart, sweetheart. You live in a lumberyard. We chop trees.
unfortunately, yeah.
In the Damn it, Dale! What you get me into? And he just walks off again.
You don't get... Daddy didn't get it either.
As you continue trudging along, I think there is this tension kind of hanging here, right? Like we've got Isaac trying to hold this together with his teeth, Leah not really knowing, kind of how to resolve this, but seeing the writing on the wall for certainly her family, if not the entire community. And June, I think, very, very stuck in her morals about this being a failed operation from the outset. And as you grind on, it's beginning to look a little bit more and more like that might be the case until you see 2 men engaged in a wrestling match.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see 2 miners are just flipping each other over into the dirt up in the middle distance. You see that a little camp has been set out around it, and they seem to be enjoying kind of a little bit of lunchtime entertainment as the Minehead boys wrestle each other into the dirt. And sitting at the head of this little encampment, there is a very familiar face, Isaac, playing his massive 30-stringed lute. It's Sherwood, the man in charge of the Minehead boys. Sherwood's always been an interesting guy because as long as you've known him, he's been 102. Whole time. He's got mustaches for days, white, just down to his, almost to his nipples, really, is kind of the situation with his mustaches. He's got a little jaunty hat, like he always does, and he is just in control of the chaos that is this wrestling match. This is for his entertainment, and things are going well for Sherwood, you think?
I'd like to put 1 gold on Sherwood.
Actually, we're gonna rearrange this. Leah, you're in charge of this one.
Me? Do you remember the last time that I was put in charge of you? Do you remember the last time that I was put in charge of you?
Listen, all I need is those 2 eyes of yours on her at all times.
I almost lost a finger.
She's already walking towards, like...
Yeah, June's just
there.
gone.
Now, pay attention, all right? This entire time, as we're focusing on Juniper, that's what I need you to do. So those eyes need to be on June the entire time. We can't, we can't lose it. We need this mind stone. So we need to.
She's
Okay,
slippery.
now, how's your job going? Have you been paying attention? Where is she?
Ah, shit!
there you
And
go.
Julia takes off running. June, Sherwood is not fighting. Sherwood is playing music and watching the fun.
I still got 10. I still got 1 gold on Sherwood.
So you make your way to Sherwood. Ah, Isaac, my friend, it is good to see you. How are you?
Sure would. You know, we get another day. Every time we wake up, we get one more
It's
day.
another day. It is true. Listen, my friend, you always know what is the most important in this life, and you always know how to have a good time. See, that's what I like about you. That and those bellows you've got.
Here we go about the bellows again. Oh, Sherwood, you get. Do you dream about those bellows? Do you dream about them?
I dream of many things. I dream of fine wine. I dream of succulent pigs. I dream of large women and those bellows occasionally. I will tell you that I fully intend, my friend, to outlive you by a century and a half. And in that time, things go missing. And, when people, they don't necessarily have a family or children, they can't give away their bellows. So, other people might come in and find a way to take them. And more unscrutable people than me, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all hypotheticals and whatnot. But I tell you what. If I do, when I die before you, I need you to understand that Leah's still gonna be here, and you're gonna hope that you try and steal it when I'm here. Because if Leah catches you, there's a whole nother. I can't save you then. You know what I mean?
When she hears Isaac talk about when he dies, she just like visually kind of sinks just a little bit and kind of moves just a little bit closer to Isaac.
Why, Isaac, my friend, why you're not here? Yes, you're not here for your health, but for the life of me, I can't figure out why you would be here. It's solstice. You should be here with your resin.
Sherwood, I'm here because you are a fine, loving friend of mine. And I would share this gorgeous, beautiful day with you because it's such a wonderful day. And I know everyone here enjoys the summer solstice. Don't get me wrong. Me, myself, I like to do a little dance and whatnot during the summer solstice.
I think every time you say the word solstice, I think every one of the Minehead boys like freezes in place and just goes, solstice! And then back to whatever they
I'm right there with y'all. Yeah. So, all right. Now,
Solstice!
With that being said, us being such good friends, such companions, you wouldn't mind, talking a little bit of business with me. Back in the day, you and Dale discussed some information on a millstone. Back when your beard was down, at your upper chest, not at your nipples. It was a few years back.
A few inches ago, yes. This is also how I measure time as a person. I measure the years in beard growth.
Back on track, Sherwood. Back on track. All right. The millstone. Do you have one?
I think he sort of looks at you and he says, a millstone, huh? You have problems you having with the one that we arranged for you, for Dale, and his very persuasive wife.
Listen, the Empire needs us to kick it up a notch, and
Interesting. Do you suppose that this has something to do with the fighting?
I stay out of politics for the most part. I'm just trying to get this job done, make sure my people have a place to live and work to do, and shit. What about a wrestling match?
There's an idea.
That's a good idea, dude. That's a good idea.
Now there's an idea. How about this? I have taken an interest in a new hobby recently. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but I have been informed that it is called gambling.
Interesting. Do tell more about this. You said jambling?
Yes, well, it usually pronounced gambling, but jambling, I think you could probably pronounce it. Gambling, same thing. Yes, so you have an event, you have a sport, you have some kind of competition with a winner. And what you do is each person involved, and he kind of looks over at June, who's like still trying to place money on him to win a fight that he's not participant in. Each person picks a victor in that competition, and they wager something against that victory. If their champion wins, they receive the entire. They call it a put. They receive the entire put. So whatever is gambled goes into the put, and then the winner, whoever's champion is victorious, they receive the put.
Are you sneezing? Is that what's happening?
Wait a minute. Is he saying pot? What?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is exactly what he's saying.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I need you all to understand. Please. But you know who doesn't understand?
It's just some weird thing.
Isaac. What do you want, Sherwood? What do you want? I'm just pulling
Now
your beard.
We're
Yeah,
talking
just
business, yes.
Mhm.
You know very well what I want.
So what do I get?
Your champion versus my champion. I bet a new millstone. Best granite in the entire west of Ostila. You put up that glorious bellows of yours. What do you say?
You know I can't give up a deal like that, Sherwood. So my champion versus yours?
This is the bet.
Then you got a deal. And we'll shake on it.
He slaps your hand and gives you just like a super firm
Yeah, we
shake.
do the forearm joint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then from the tent behind him pushes out, standing around 6'11", several feet at the shoulders, just casually carrying a log about the size of Isaac, a Goliath man. And Sherwood turns and looks up to him and says, "Big Paul! It's good that you should be able to join us." Oh, you thought it was over. No. See, it's not over until I have had the chance to thank you and all of the people who made this happen. Obviously, a huge thanks to our players, Sam Oliver, Craig Pate, Cinderblock Sally, and Emily Graymore. You can see what we're all up to over at unbalancedencounters.com. I also wanted to thank Sayer Roberts, who composed our brilliant theme song. You can find links to his work over at unbalancedencounters.com as well. And lastly, I wanted to thank you. Listen, we know that this episode was a little rough around the edges, and you probably have a podcast backlog a mile long, so we really appreciate you giving this a chance. If you like what you heard, it is actually legally required that you go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts to leave us a good review. Good reviews are the lifeblood of a new podcast, and if you don't leave us a good review, you're actually committing a felony. And lastly, we'd love to thank you for not breaking the law personally over in our Discord, where we regularly hang out with listeners and collaborators. You can find that over at discord.unbalancedencounters.com. All right, now that you have done your public service for the day, I will let you leave in peace. But I swear to God, if you enjoyed this episode and you don't leave a good review, I will find you. Okay, bye.